Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and we're going to do some urban legends. Now, urban legends do have different categories. This particular set of urban legends are called children's urban legends. That does not mean they're for children by any means, but I think it means the nature of the urban legend probably started from children. So with that said, bear that in mind. First one's a rag doll story. When Emma Fisher was 8 years old, her mother died. She then went to live with her aunt named Penny. Emma had never met Aunt Penny before. The old woman had a pointed nose. There was a huge wart on the nose's tip. Aunt Penny's house had a room with a red door. On the first day that Emma was living with Aunt Penny, the old woman said, "Never go into the red room." Emma's curiosity increased with this warning. Doesn't it increase in all in us when someone says don't do it? She found out where her aunt kept the key to the red room. Aunt Penny used to watch TV after dinner, and, like everyone else, she used to fall asleep on the couch after 5 minutes. Emma took the key and entered the red room. In the corner of the room was a cauldron. 4 candles were burning around the cauldron. On the wall were several drawings of pentagrams and other mystical symbols. Also in the corner there was a wooden shelf with old books. Emma let out a little squeak of horror when she saw a skull on top of the shelf. She turned to the side and saw a rag doll sitting on a chair. Emma took the doll. "Did you like her, Emma?" asked Aunt Penny under the doorway. The girl turned around startled. "Yes, it is a beautiful doll. Whose is it?" "It is not about who owns it, but who she is." Aunt Penny approached Emma and took the doll. "This doll is my niece Lucy." "Niece? But she is just a doll." "Yes. Now Lucy is a rag doll. Before she was a little girl." "Why is she a doll now?" "Because Lucy was just like you, Emma. She was a naughty little girl. I asked her to stay away from the red room. However, she also came in here without my permission, so—" Emma, the little girl, became extremely white. Her eyes went wide. "What happened, Aunt Penny?" "Well, my darling, this house belonged to an evil witch, and she did a spell in this room. This spell turns every child who enters this room into a rag doll." "Why did she do that?" "Come on, Emma. Don't you know that witches hate children? This wicked witch used to bring the children in this house, saying that there was a room full of candles and chocolates." Aunt Penny went to the old wooden wardrobe with 2 doors. She opened both doors. Emma cried when she saw that inside there were dozens and dozens of rag dolls. "I don't want to become a doll, Aunt Penny." The old woman bent down, looking the girl in the eye. With a smile on her lips, she said, "Do you know what's scarier, Emma? I am this wicked witch." Aunt Penny started laughing aloud. Yes, Aunt Penny was a witch, but she was not a wicked witch. The old woman just didn't want her niece to come into a workroom. No, Emma Fisher didn't turn into a doll. Aunt Penny invented the whole story to scare her niece. The old woman wanted the girl to never disobey her again. The rag doll story, though, it really worked. After that day, Emma never disobeyed her aunt. Ever again. The Teacher and the Fear is the next. Emma Fisher graduated. Now she was a second-grade teacher. Her students are between 8 and 9 years old. Inspired by her Aunt Penny, Miss Fisher teaches the students through fear. And to put fear in children, Miss Fisher tells urban legends. The blonde in the bathroom. Instead of going back to the living room after recess, Riley decided to hide in the toilet to skip class. Miss Fisher noticed Riley was missing and asked the students what happened to Riley. A student said she was in the toilet. The teacher left the classroom and went to the girls' toilet. She found Riley hidden in one of the booths. "Do you think it's cool to skip class hiding in the bathroom, Riley?" "Well then, I'll tell you about Talia." Talia was a girl who did not like to study. She always managed to slip out of the classroom and go to the bathroom to skip class. One day, Talia skipped class and went to hide in the bathroom. She was very quiet inside a booth. Pow! What was that noise? She opened the door to see what had happened. My God! In the mirror, she saw the reflection of a girl with pale skin, purple eyes, cotton on her nose, and wearing a white torn dress. The blonde removed the cotton from her nostrils, and blood was dripping from her nose. Talia closed the door and huddled in the corner of the booth. The blonde entered the booth through the gap under the door. Please, please don't kill me, said Talia. The blonde replied, I'll not kill you. I'll just take you to the other students who skip class. After saying this, the blonde pressed the flush button and Talia was swallowed into the toilet full of pee. That's what happens to a student who skips class, goes to the bathroom. He is dredged into the throne by the blonde in the bathroom. The next one is a well-known one that we all know, Bloody Mary. During the class, Miss Fisher noticed that Hannah used to keep looking at herself in the mirror all the time. You think you're very beautiful, don't you, Hannah? Asked Miss Fisher. Sure, I'll be a very famous model because I'm beautiful and I'm wonderful, said Anna, without taking her eyes off the mirror. Ah, Anna, you remind me of Mary, my friend from high school. Mary's dream was to be an international model, to walk catwalks all over the world. It was usual to see her before the mirror, fixing her hair, touching up her makeup, and especially admiring her beauty. I'm very beautiful. I'm a princess who came out of a fairy tale, Mary used to tell herself. Mary made her mother buy a very large and beautiful oval mirror. The girl could spend an entire Sunday before the oval mirror. One day, Mary was admiring herself in the mirror, so she started to get closer and closer to her image until, crack, Mary hit her head in the mirror and it fell on her. With the thud, the mirror broke, and the shrapnel cut into Mary's face. Seeing her disfigured, ugly and bleeding face, Mary went crazy. She took a piece of broken mirror and cut off her wrist. Before she died, Mary decided to take revenge on all the pretty girls who like to admire themselves in the mirror. If a pretty girl spends more than 3 minutes looking at herself in the mirror, Mary appears in the reflection and disfigures the entire pretty face of the girl. You don't want Mary to disfigure your face, do you, Anna? Hannah put the mirror away. No, Miss Fisher. Well then, don't date your reflection. The dry body. Miss Fisher was arriving at school when she saw her student, Liam, arguing with his mother. The boy wanted money to buy snacks, but his mother said she had no money. After all that, Liam slapped his mother on the arm. At the beginning of class, Miss Fisher asked, Kids, have you heard of the dry body? Most said no, but Liam raised his arm and said, The dry body has big nails and stays in the forest and jumps on people's backs to kill them. And do you know the origin of the dry body, Liam? No. Well, I'll tell you, Liam. Listen very carefully. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Matthew. He was a very naughty boy. One day, before going to school, he asked his mother for money, as he wanted to buy a sticker album. The mother said that she had no money. Matthew was so angry that he slapped his mother very hard. The next day, Matthew woke up looking at his hand. What is this? My hand is dry. He called his mother and showed her the dry hand. The mother took Matthew to the hospital. They did many medical examinations, but the doctor did not discover the cause of the dry hand. And with each passing day, Matthew got thinner, and he got thinner, thinner, and thinner, until he became a dry body. Ashamed of having such a dry son, the mother took Matthew to the forest and abandoned him near a tree. This is what happens to those who beat their mother. They become a dry body. The next is called The Old Man Who Carried a Bag. Who obeys Dad and Mum? Asked the teacher, Miss Fisher, to her students. Everyone raised their hands. Pretty good, kids. That's fantastic. Too bad Peter didn't obey his parents. Who's Peter? Asked one of the students. Peter was always making a mess, responding to his parents and disobeying their orders. He didn't like to do schoolwork. He left home to play with his friends without telling his parents. He was always up to mischief. One Saturday morning, Peter's mother went to the market, and before leaving, she said, "Don't open the door for anyone. You got it, Pete?" To no one. Unfortunately, what the mother asked, came in through one ear and went out the other. Peter heard the doorbell ring and ran to open the door. It was an older man carrying a bag. "Hey, little boy, is your mother home?" "No, she went to market." "Open the gate and come here. I have something to give you. It's in my bag." Peter hesitated. "I don't know. My mother said not to accept things from strangers." "Too bad. I'll have to find another child who will accept my chocolates." "Chocolates?" "Yes. I have a lot of chocolates here in my bag. But since you don't want to—" "I want!" Peter opened the gate. The old man opened the bag and showed it Peter. As soon as the boy went to look inside the bag, poof! The old man threw Peter into the bag. No one knows where the old man is with the bag and what happened to Peter. Some say the old man took Peter to a soap factory. What is certain is that Peter never returned to his house. And every disobedient son has the same fate as Peter. He's taken by the old man carrying the bag. The next story is called The Chupacabra. So you've probably heard of this one. Fabian brought a slingshot to school and showed it to his classmates. "I hope you're not using this slingshot to kill birds," said Miss Fisher, when she saw the slingshot. "Of course not, teacher," Fabian lied, "because he liked to kill birds. Because I don't want it to happen to you what happened to Jaden." Jaden was a boy who roamed the forest looking for birds or any other animal to hit with a slingshot. When Jaden hit a bird, it used to vibrate as if he'd scored a goal. What Jaden liked most was killing birds in the nest and then breaking the eggs. Once, Jaden was walking through the forest looking for a bird's nest. He spotted one at the top of a tree. He fixed the stone on the slingshot, aimed, and "Raw!" What was this? Jaden looked back and saw the chupacabra, a creature with horns on its back, red eyes, and a huge mouth with big, sharp teeth. Jaden ran. Poor boy, his little legs were not so fast. When the chupacabra reached Jaden, it swallowed the boy whole. That is why the legend says that the chupacabra eats boys who hunts birds. The next one is called The Monster in My Wardrobe. Kids who leave the wardrobe tidy. Several students raised their hands, and some boys stood with their arms crossed. Miss Fisher looked at them and commented, "You must not know the monster in the wardrobe." As much as his mother asked, Kevin never cleaned the wardrobe. He used to mix dirty t-shirts with clean clothes. Kevin's wardrobe was a tremendous mess. That night, Kevin woke up with noises. He turned on the light and looked at his room. He realizes that the noises were coming from the wardrobe. Kevin opened the wardrobe door. Something was moving under heaped clothes. He took off his clothes until he discovered a monster. A monster that had a snake body and an alligator's head. The monster wrapped itself around Kevin and squeezed him. Squeezed and squeezed and squeezed and squeezed until crack. Crushed all over his bones. Then crunch. The monster devoured Kevin. Keep the wardrobe neat, because the wardrobe monster likes to hide among untidy clothes. The next is The Curse of the Video Game. "Why didn't you do your assignment?" asked Miss Fisher to Owen. "Sorry, teacher. I was helping my mother clean the house." "Helping your mother clean the house, huh?" "Yes." The teacher looked right at him and asked, "Tell me the truth. Did you play video games instead of doing the school assignment?" "No, Miss Fisher. I don't even have a video game." "Because if you had a video game, you would have to be very careful. Do you know what happens to boys who play a lot of video games?" "What?" "Let me tell you what happened to brothers Jack and Grayson. Every day when they arrived from school, Jack and Grayson used to run to the bedroom, turn on the TV and play video games. They used to spend the afternoon playing the PlayStation. Seeing that little children were not enjoying their childhood, the mother forced them to play video games for only 1 hour a day. Grayson accepted. He stopped playing and invited his brother to go play in the ball field. Go alone. I'll only get out of here when I'm done with this game, Jack said. Mummy told us to play only an hour a day. She's not even home. Grayson went to play with the other children in the playground, while his brother stayed playing video games. Jack's concentration on the video game was so great, he wasn't even blinking. 5 hours later, Grayson returned to the house, entered the room, saw his brother sitting in front of the TV, and on the screen was written, Game over. I see the game is over, said Grayson. Jack shook his head. What happened, brother? My eyes. Jack turned his head. His eyes were drooping over his cheeks. Do you understand, Owen? If you play video games for more than an hour, your eyeballs, they will pop out. We used to get told if we watched too much TV, our eyes would turn square. That was a good one. The scissors woman is next. As she did not like the usual conversation in the teacher's room, Miss Fisher used to walk around the school during recesses. She went to see the boys playing ball. The number of bad words that boys said horrified Miss Fisher, not only during play, but anywhere. Students were always saying bad words. After recess in the classroom, Miss Fisher asked, Has anyone heard of the scissor woman? Jackson was always saying bad words. He used to tell his friends, take it up the ass. He used to say to the teachers, F you. Even to his parents, he would use bad words. But things changed when Jackson said to his mother, F you, mother effer. The next day, returning from school, a strange woman approached Jackson. She said to Jackson, Your mother asked me to give you a chocolate. And saying that, she showed a delicious chocolate bar, which made Jackson's eyes shine. Do you want? Said the woman. Yes. Then stick out your tongue and close your eyes. Jackson closed his eyes and stuck out his tongue. Instead of giving him the chocolate bar, the woman took a pair of scissors and zap. The woman cut the boy's tongue out. Well, after that day, Jackson never spoke bad words again. That's why I say, every child who swears at his parents has his tongue cut off by the woman with the scissors. The next story is called The Bogeyman, and we've all heard of him, I'm sure. Miss Fisher was explaining mathematical operations when she saw Landon yawning. The teacher stopped class and asked, Didn't you sleep well, Landon? I stayed up late watching TV, Miss Fisher. Ah, you stayed up late all night watching TV? Yeah, why? Children who stay up late at night are attacked by him, by the terrible boogeyman. Aaron used to stay up late watching TV and only went to sleep after 11 o'clock at night. One night he went to sleep after midnight. He lay down on the bed, pulled out the blanket and closed his eyes. In an instant he heard, Run, run, run. Someone was making a noise in his room. Aaron got up and turned on the light. There was no one in the room. But the noise continued. It was coming from under his bed. Aaron crouched down, peeking under the bed. The boogeyman attacked Aaron. As the old saying goes, a child who likes to sleep late at night ends up sleeping in the belly of the boogeyman. This is true? Asked Landon. Who knows, said Miss Fisher, shrugging. Keep watching television late and see what happens, Landon. Then you'll know. The next is called The Ouija Board. Upon entering the teacher's room, Miss Fisher noticed that she had forgotten something in the classroom. She went back to the classroom. When she entered, she caught 4 students sitting around a Ouija board. They tried to hide the board, but Miss Fisher came over and said, I know you are communicating with spirits. Okay, I also used to play with spirits when I was at school. Is that true, Miss Fisher? Asked Liam. Yes, but we stopped using the Ouija board after what happened to Brianna. What happened? Brianna was a bold girl. She wasn't afraid of the teacher. She wasn't afraid of the school principal. She wasn't afraid of being punished. Brianna was a fearless girl. And when Raylin showed us the Ouija board, Brianna was the only one who was not afraid to ask questions to the spirits. But Brianna started asking heavy questions. She started to ask when her parents would die, when the world would end, those things. And when Brianna asked the day she was going to die, the planchette didn't move. Brianna laughed, saying, "Stupid spirit, you don't know anything. Go back to hell, you ass." The planchette started to move on its own without anyone putting a finger on it, and the spirit wrote, "Today, you bitch." For the first time, I saw Brianna in fear. She spent the rest of the class in silence. When we left school, Brianna had improved her move. We used to go home on foot. Brianna was laughing and telling jokes. However, when we stopped at an intersection, Brianna said, "Look what I'm going to do." She jumped in front of a car that was coming at high speed. To this day, I have the impression that some bad spirit had descended on Brianna and made her do that. That is why I no longer play with the spirits. Nor should you. The next story is called The Killer in the Back Seat. Children used to be afraid of the school janitor because he was bearded and one-eyed. Miss Fisher did not like it at all when she heard her students saying that Jacob was an evil man and that he kidnapped disobedient students. And the kids were saying that just because of Jacob's appearance. In the classroom, Miss Fisher said judging others is too ugly, and judging others by appearance is even uglier. Oh, when you're going to judge someone by their appearance, remember this story. It was late at night. It was raining and lightning. Olivia was driving her car down the road. She was alone. In the steering panel, a light was showing that the gas was running low. Luckily, Olivia saw a gas station sign and she breathed a sigh of relief. Olivia stopped the car next to the gas pump. The post was small and looked abandoned. Only the lights on showed that the gas station was working. Olivia pressed the horn. The attendant approached Olivia. She was startled by seeing the man. The attendant was a big man, full of tattoos on his arms. He had a shaggy beard, full of flaws. His left eye was white. There was a scar on his face, and all of this gave him the appearance of some serial killer who escaped from prison. "May I help?" he asked. "Please fill the tank," said Olivia. While filling the car, the attendant noticed that a man was lying in the back seat. At first, he thought he was just a woman's husband, but noticed the man was wearing a mask. After filling up, the attendant took Olivia's credit card, went to the office. He waited for a few seconds and then shouted at her, "Madam, come over here. Your card is not passing." The attendant did this so that Olivia got out of the car and so that he could warn her about the stranger in the car. But Olivia thought the attendant would abuse her. Because of that, she started the car and drove away. The gas station attendant wrote down the license plate and called the police. The police found the abandoned car on the side of the road. There was blood on the seat and on the windshield. Olivia's body was never found. For judging others by appearance, Olivia was murdered. Remember that. The next one is called The Monster of Diabetes. Miss Fisher asked her students who liked to drink soda. Of course, all students raised their hands. Who likes candies and cookies? Who likes snacks? Who likes lollipops? But no student raised their hand when Miss Fisher asked, "And who likes diabetes?" After a silence, Miss Fisher said, "Yes, it's good to eat muffins and drink soda, but you need to eat in moderation. Believe me, you will not want to be the victims of the monster of diabetes." Ethan was a son of wealthy parents. He used to have anything he wanted, including money to buy sweets. And every day Ethan bought candy, sweets, snacks, soda. Ethan couldn't see, but there was always a blue ball the size of a lemon next to him. The ball was following Ethan everywhere. And the more Ethan ate snacks and soda, the more the blue ball grew. And the ball created arms, legs, eyes, and a mouth. And the boy was eating snacks, drinking soft drinks, eating snacks, drinking soft drinks. Every day and night, until that blue ball became a horrifying monster. During the night, while the boy slept peacefully, the monster took his right leg and ate it. Ethan woke up scared. "What happened to my leg?" His parents took him to the hospital. The monster followed Ethan to the hospital. The boy was lying in bed, waiting for medical care, when the monster arrived and took both eyes of Ethan. Ethan was blind. The doctor said that only daily insulin could save Ethan. but the insulin only served to keep the monster away from Ethan. Even so, the monster comes back to take some part of Ethan's body. Do you know what this monster is called? Diabetes. So kids, be careful with candies and soda. And that's the first lot of our children's urban legends. Some interesting ones. Many blessings.